Is God's power real? Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary that it seemed beyond explanation? Or heard about miraculous recoveries, unshaken faith in adversity, or acts of divine intervention that make you question the ordinary? In a world increasingly skeptical of the unseen, the question remains, is God's power real? The relevance of God's power today. God's power has been a cornerstone of faith for millennia, providing hope, guidance, and purpose. Yet, in today's modern age, where science and reason dominate, many wonder if belief in divine power is outdated or even imaginary. For believers, God's power manifests in the beauty of creation, the intricacy of life, and the transformation of hearts. For skeptics, it's dismissed as mere coincidence or psychological phenomena. But what if there's more to the story? Addressing skepticism and doubt. Doubts about God's power are not new. Even in biblical times, people questioned his authority. The psalmist asks, "Will the Lord reject forever? Will he never show his favor again?" Psalm 77 verse 7. Such questions echo today, especially when prayers seem unanswered or when suffering prevails. Some argue that belief in miracles contradicts science, while others view it as a coping mechanism. However, the Bible challenges this skepticism. In Matthew 19 verse 26, Jesus says, "With man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." This verse invites us to consider a perspective beyond human limitations. Examples of divine power. Throughout history, stories of God's power have inspired awe and wonder. 1. Biblical accounts. The parting of the Red Sea, Exodus 14 verses 21 to 22. Jesus healing the blind, the sick, and even raising Lazarus from the dead, John 11 verses 43 to 44. The early disciples speaking in tongues and performing miracles through the Holy Spirit, Acts 2 verses 1 to 4, Acts 3 verses 6 to 8. 2. Historical miracles. The survival of the Israelites through centuries of persecution, and the countless testimonies of faith overcoming impossible odds bear witness to something extraordinary. 3. Personal stories. Testimonies of individuals experiencing inexplicable healing, provision in dire circumstances, or finding peace amidst chaos showcase how God's power is alive today. A powerful testimony. Consider the story of George Muller, a 19th century Christian evangelist who cared for over 10,000 orphans in his lifetime. Muller relied solely on prayer for provision. On one occasion, with no food left for breakfast, he prayed with the children. Moments later, a baker knocked on the door with bread, and a milkman offered milk after his cart broke down outside. Coincidence? Or divine intervention? The role of belief and personal experience. God's power becomes real through faith. Hebrews 11 verse 1 defines faith as the confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Belief doesn't dismiss reason, but invites an openness to the supernatural. Many believers argue that experiencing God's power begins with a willingness to trust and seek Him earnestly. Your turn to reflect. Do you believe in God's power? Have you experienced it in your own life? Or do you still have questions? We invite you to share your thoughts and stories in the comments. For those interested in exploring more, check out our video on how to strengthen your faith in challenging times. Remember, whether through a miraculous event, an answered prayer, or the quiet assurance of His presence, God's power is often closer than we think. As Ephesians 3 verse 20 reminds us, "Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us."